And we are back. Power Rankings, Week 7 edition. Starting out at number 32, as you can see, we have the Carolina Panthers. We're going to be staying the same. They are currently 0-6, the only winless team in the league, the only team with a 0 in either their win or loss column. It is not looking good for the Panthers. It might be time to just scrap it all, maybe put Andy Dalton in, try and salvage something. Because the worst part of sucking is not having your first round pick. Especially when your first round pick is currently the first overall pick. I do believe in Bryce Young. I thought he was going to be the best quarterback in the draft class in the future. But I just don't think he's a quarterback now. And that's what Carolina's playing for, is for a future. So, Carolina, you're going to suck now, but once the future happens, I'd say probably like year 3, 4, probably 4, you guys will probably be competing. Number 31, we have the Broncos. They are going to be staying the same at 1-5. Yeah, they lost yet another game. Surprise, surprise. This one somehow even better than the last. I mean, they lost 19-8 to the Chiefs, which who surprised? Not me, but I mean, here we are, yet another game the Broncos lost, looking like Sean Payton's even more of a bad, coach. Looking like Russell Wilson's not the quarterback you were looking for. Granted, Russ has not been bad besides that game. Russ has been solid this year. Obviously, this game says something different, and it's going to, make a horrible narrative that Russ is not a good quarterback. But Broncos, your season's done, probably. Just wrap it up, and good luck, because, you got, like, a top quarterback, or a supposed top quarterback getting paid top QB dollar, and you're not competing, so what for? At number 30, we have the we have the, alright, you're getting a little sneak peek of some teams. I guess I forgot to move these around. I'm looking at the wrong list, so I was right. We have the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to be going down a spot. That's embarrassing. The Cardinals, they lost another one, 23-9. This time, they didn't actually look like they were a good team. Normally, the Cardinals lose games but keep it close. This time, on the other hand, they just got straight out outplayed. So, I'm losing hope. Granted, I don't think anyone really had much hope, but Cardinals, just wait till next year, man. And even then, good luck, because your roster is depleted. 29, we have the Patriots. They're going to be going down 2 spots. Another loss to the Patriots. I thought they were going to win this game against the Raiders. I really, really did. But Mac Jones just does not look like an NFL caliber quarterback, so he might have to just get out of here. You're better off starting Bailey Zappi or Malik Cunningham for the rest of the season, because you're done. You're in the same boat as the Broncos, where you're not eliminated from the playoffs, but you're not making the playoffs. So, honestly, just as much as I think Bill's a great coach, greatest of all time, arguably, I just don't think he is got it anymore. Number 28, we have the Giants. They're going to be going up 2 spots. A loss, but you kept it close. Now, the big concern with the Giants is Tyrod Taylor played amazing. All right, he's playing a very tough team in the Bills. He kept it to 1 score. The only issue is if Daniel Jones is healthy, you should probably start Daniel Jones because you're paying that fucker $40 million a year. Great job, GM. Way to fuck it all up. And it's crazy to think Daniel Jones wanted more money. So, you're in a very interesting situation. You have a quarterback who's struggling, who you're paying high-end money for, and you have a quarterback who you're not paying high-end money for, but is playing better than the quarterback struggling. And meanwhile, you're in a pretty weak conference where you're only 2 games out of the playoffs. So what do you do if you're the Giants? I'm glad I'm not the GM of that team because I honestly have no idea. At number 27, we have the Bears. They're going to be going down a spot. And speaking of, at number 26, we have the Vikings. They're going to be going down a spot. The Vikings are 2-4. The Bears are 1-5. The Vikings beat the Bears. And what was honestly not the greatest game, but it was honestly still a pretty close game. Vikings barely come away with it, and it came down to the final minute or so. The Bears, unfortunately, Justin Fields did suffer an injury, so that is a a big issue now. But it doesn't really matter, Bears, because I don't think you're competing. But now this kind of makes your life just a tad bit worse because now you're without Justin Fields, who we still don't know what he has. He started off horrible. He has looked amazing recently, and now he's injured for who knows how long. If I'm the Bears, you're once again in a very tough situation. Do you give Justin Fields a 4th year? Because you have the 1st and 2nd pick. Do you potentially pass on Caleb Williams, who's arguably the best college football prospect since Joe Burrow, and outside Joe Burrow, the best in a while? Who knows? I personally think you probably got to take him if you end up with the top 2 picks. It just makes sense. Either that or you trade the 1st pick and you take Drake May with the 2nd if, the season ended today. Whatever one you're feeling. And Vikings, let's be honest. Congrats, you won, but you're in a tough spot now because you're just like you're competing for the playoffs still, even though you're 2-4, you're only a game out. Kirk Cousins said he's not going to be traded because he has that no trade clause he's refusing to do, which is smart on him. So yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting year for the Vikings with Kirk Cousins probably going to be out after the year. Justin Jefferson on IR. He could be out after the year. Number 25, we have the Saints. They're going to be going down 4 spots. The Saints struggled. They really did. Another loss for that Saints team. Or, excuse me, didn't they win? No, they did lose. 20-13. This Saints team just is looking worse and worse as the year goes on. And as you can tell, I'm starting to lose faith in them. It sucks that Derek Carr is playing through an injury right now, but that's kind of the thing of football. You have a great backup in Jameis Winston, who I believe is a starting quarterback in this league. So honestly, why are you rushing Derek Carr? You're paying this guy a load of money. Make sure he's healthy. You don't want him to re-get injured like a Jimmy Garoppolo where you rushed him back and now he's injured again. So speaking of 24, we have the Raiders. They're going to be going nowhere. They're staying the same. This Raiders team has really been interesting because they have struggled to win these games, but they have won them. And that says something because I saw a quote that said, about the Bills and their ugly win versus Giants. An ugly win means the same as a pretty win because they're wins. And, that's true. They're wins. So, as long as the Raiders keep winning, they're gonna be a good team, I feel like. But until they start to prove it, and honestly, if they probably just win one more game, I'll probably move them up. But I'm just not sold quite on the Raiders yet. 23, we have the Falcons. They're going to be going down 4 spots. This team, man, here's what I would do if I'm the Falcons. You have a great roster. You're currently the 7th seed in the playoffs. Granted, it's only week 7 now. Way too early to be talking about that. Why don't you just throw in Taylor Heinicke? He's a very good backup. He's a arguably starting caliber quarterback. Just see what he has. Desmond Ridder, as much as I love the guy, he went to Cincinnati, my local college. He just isn't it, bro. He went from having that amazing game to a very abysmal game, and now I think he's kind of sold on. I don't think he's ever going to see the field again, at least as the starter. Maybe he'll see if due to injury or a bench, but as the actual starter past this season, unless if he turns it around now, I think he's done. Number 22, we have the Commanders. They're going to be going up 6 spots. This Commanders team is the team who just beat the Falcons. And I think this Commanders team is starting to build up momentum. Sam Howell is looking amazing, looking like the best quarterback out of that 2022 draft class. And he was the, what was it, 5th, 6th quarterback? Kenny Pickett, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Bailey Zappi. He was the 5th quarterback taken. But don't worry, Commanders. You're right there. You're fighting, and I respect that. So, yeah, do your thing. At number 21, we have the Packers. They're going to be going down a spot. They were on a bye week, but I'm moving them down because the team jumps them, and that's going to be the number 20 Jets going up 3 spots. This was an ugly win. The Eagles were heavily banged up, but the Jets still pulled it out. Quinton Williams with the interception. I don't know who saw that coming. This Jets team could cause some serious issues if Zach Wilson just plays good. Come on, Zach. I believe in you. I hate to say that, but I believe in you. At number 19, we have the Titans. They're going to be going down 3 spots. Another close loss. This is just getting out of hand, this time to the Ravens. And you'd think this was like a very interesting game with the score, but no, it was just a bunch of field goals and turnovers and ugh. Derrick Henry did have that great run. Derrick Henry also is a big reason why I won my fantasy, because I started Russell Wilson this week instead of Justin Herbert. And I don't know how Herbert did, but boy, Russell Wilson was the wrong choice, but I still somehow won. I was projected to lose by 30 damn points, and I somehow won after, Russ. Number 18, we have the Titans. Titans, you got this. I know you can tell I'm not done talking about you yet. I believe in the Titans. You're in the lackluster AFC South, and honestly, an AFC that has been pretty disappointing, so you could honestly pull through. Steelers, 18, they had a bye week. 17, Colts are going to be going down 2 spots. It's unfortunate with the Colts because they are suffering a lot of injuries. Now Anthony Richardson probably out for the year, getting surgery, which is a smart move. He's your future. Let him get the surgery. No need to force him back out there in what could be a lost season. But Colts, you're one of the most fun teams to watch right now. Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson. I believe in you guys. You just gotta get some wins, because your season is far from over, in my opinion. 16, we got the Bengals going up 6 spots. They're finally getting some wins on the board. I knew they would eventually, and now they are doing so. So congrats, Cincy. You're right there now. You're right there with your division. You're right there with the conference, just barely out of the playoff picture. You're giving teams a run for their money now, and if you can just keep this momentum up, I have no issue in believing that you will be going back to contending for the Super Bowl. Number 15 is going to be the Buccaneers, going down 2 spots. Told you, this team's a fraud. They've played nothing but bad teams, and when they play a good team, granted, they only allowed 20 points, but they only scored 6. And this was like a big game for them, too. They had their creamsicles on and everything. Come on, Buccaneers. You got to do better. I don't think many people expected you to win, but I at least expected it to be competitive. I at least expected you to put double-digit on points. 14, we have the Texans. They're going to be going up 3 spots. This is, in my opinion, the most exciting team to watch that is unproven. CJ Stroud is looking electric. Tank Dell connection as well, starting to form. Nico Collins obviously having a breakout year. The defense is doing amazing. This team is so much fun to watch. They're never on TV. And it sucks because, with my job now, which is temporary, or at least I hope it's not, but they hired me to be temporary, so maybe we'll get back to it soon. If I get kept around, I'm probably going to continue to work in shifts I do, which is nights and weekends. So I won't get to watch much football, but my passion is still there. And when, I'm at work, I try and watch the Texans out of majority of the NFL teams because they are just so much fun to watch. Third team, we have the Rams. They're going to be going up a spot. Here we go. This team's starting to look good too now. They just start piecing together some wins. I have no doubt in my mind they will be a playoff team. You got an excellent coach. You got an excellent quarterback. You got an excellent receiver. And you got someone who's looking like a stud in a receiver, a diamond in the rough. And, of course, you got guys like Aaron Donald on the defense. So, you guys, if you can win these games, you're going to be in the playoffs. I know you will. Number 12, we got the other LA team. We got the Chargers going down 2 spots. You guys lost a very close game to the Cowboys. Herbert was playing with an injury, so it's all forgiven. The fact that you guys kept it close is very shocking with a team that usually puts up around 30 points in games they win, only putting up 20 and only winning by 3. Chargers, I don't know how to feel about you guys because I think you guys are an amazing team, but you guys are just constantly around 500. You got to get rid of Brandon Staley if you want a chance at competing, not for playoffs, but I'm talking about for the big one. 11, we got the Seahawks. They're going to be going down 2 spots as well. You end up losing a very close game to the Bengals. No worries. I still have high hopes for the Seahawks team. And yeah, I think this Seahawks team is legit. Even though you lost, this was a trap game waiting to happen. And you lost to a Bengals team who, even though it's banged up, is still playing very well. Number 10, we got the Ravens. They're going to be going up 1 spot. They picked up a very solid win in London. It may not look like a great win, but they won, and that keeps them in the division. And honestly, alive for that 1 seed in the AFC. So, granted, it may have not been the prettiest win. It may have not been against the bestest of opponents. But it was a win, and it was a statement win that's kind of keeping them afloat. Because look at the AFC, all right? You have the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Bills, and arguably the Jaguars, and arguably the Ravens. So you have the Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills who are kind of proven, and then you have the Jaguars and Ravens who are probably going to make the playoffs, but you don't know if they're going to be competing for the 1 seed or just going to settle with the division. And I feel like the Ravens are trying to make a statement right now, and I really like it. Number 9, we have the Seahawks, I'm looking at the wrong list. Number 9, we have the Browns. They're going to be going up 3 spots. They picked up an amazing win against the 49ers. Yada, yada, yada. The refs sold. Granted, yeah, there was some bad penalties. But you also got to realize, they had P.J. Walker as their quarterback. They gave the 49ers Brock Purdy's first ever regular season loss. Everyone's trying to make the argument that Christian McCaffrey got injured in the game. You know what? That's a fair argument. If only Nick Chubb wasn't injured. Oh, Deebo Samuel got injured. Yeah, that'd be a pretty good argument if, the Browns weren't missing their O-line. Same with the Trent Williams. It's kind of like an eye for an eye. So the injuries doesn't mean anything because both teams were missing the same positions. So 49ers fan, you can bitch and cry all you want, but you lost that game and you damn well deserved it. Great job, Browns. Number 8, we have the Bills. They're going to be staying the same. An ugly win, but a win's a win. That's legit all I have to say about it. If you didn't watch that game, good job. You chose a smart idea because that game was boring. So when we got the Cowboys, they're going to be going down a spot. This is a great scenario. The Cowboys won. They didn't play outstanding besides CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb looking like him again. Cowboys, I don't know how to feel about you because you struggle against good teams and yet against the bad teams you dominate. And that's just the Cowboys for you, if you didn't know. That's why you always lose early in the postseason because you're never good against good teams. And you're probably never going to win a big one with big Mike McCarthy as your head coach. You're just like the Chargers. You got a great roster. You got a great team going, but you're being held back by just one person. And usually that's either the quarterback or the head coach, and it's the head coach for these guys. Number 6, we got the Jaguars. They're going to be going up a spot. I'm buying into the hype of this Jaguars team. They dominated against the Colts. I'm not sure anyone's surprised. The Jaguars have had the Colts numbers for years now. This Jaguars team is electric, and I am excited to watch it. Number 5, we have the Chiefs. They're going to be going down a spot. This is an ugly win, and that's why you're going down. You really struggled against the Broncos, which is understandable. It's a division game. But you're the Chiefs. You got to be playing way better than that. You still have the 1 seed at the moment, but this 4-seeded Dolphins is giving you a run for your money. And the Dolphins have looked amazing in every game they have won. This is a team who I think is going to go the distance. But we also got to remember, this is early Dolphins. Y'all remember what happened last year? They were what? They were like a top 3 team in the first half of the season, and then they fell off, barely made the playoffs, and got knocked round 1. If that happens again, I would not be surprised. And if it doesn't happen again, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's just going to kind of be a matter of, is this team going to be competing for a Super Bowl or a playoff spot? I feel like it's going to come down to Tua and Mike McDaniels. Tua has looked amazing. It's just an injury concern with him. I don't think he's going to start playing bad unless he starts playing through an injury. And Mike McDaniel, as long as he has Tua, I think he'll be a good coach. And then number 3, 2, and 1 are all the same, and it's ironic because the Lions, they picked up a very good win. The Eagles and 49ers, I can't say the same for. They both lost their first of the season. We went from having who's going to lose first to they both lost in the same amount of games. So yeah, that's going to do it. In case you're wondering, I don't feel like these losses say a lot. The 49ers, they're injured, so it's understandable. Like I said, it's not fair to argue that they can't use the Browns, we were injured argument against the Browns because the Browns were also injured. But I also feel like this 49ers team, if it's not at its fullest health, it's going to struggle. And this Eagles team, they dominated that game and somehow lost. So, yeah. That's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. I'm going to see you guys next time with predictions on Wednesday. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.